Monsieur le Président, au mois d'août, le gouvernement a annoncé qu'il allait décimer le bureau du médecin hygiéniste en chef et répartir 70 de ses 110 employés dans 3 autres ministères. Plusieurs organismes, y compris l'Association canadienne de santé et les médecins de santé publique du Canada, s'opposent à cette décision. Si jamais il survenait une crise de santé publique, pouvez-vous imaginer comment ce serait difficile de coordonner tous ces employés dans 4 ministères différents? Mission impossible, Monsieur le Président. Pourquoi le ministre de la Santé fait-il le contraire de ce que disent un grand nombre d'experts en santé publique au Canada?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would counter-argue with that if it would be mission impossible as the member of the third-party state, why is Nova Scotia and Newfoundland have done the exact same thing? So are they saying that they're not doing their job properly? I think that's a pretty big statement to make. And you know, this reorganization really is to better align the similar type work. So out of the 70 that are moving, 60 plus of those are inspectors. So they will be moved with the Department of Public Safety to do inspection type work. So we're putting all of the inspectors together, and they will remain, and I have said this publicly and I'll say it again, they will remain fully accessible to the Chief Medical Officer would there be anything that would be needed in that regard. So I am fully confident that the function of the Chief Medical Officer will remain in full operation and work very well.
Leader of the third party.
Well, Mr. Speaker, that's an interesting response because it does, to me, appear this government's putting politics before public health. The minister has been defending the indefensible. He's forcing his members to defend the indefensible. A review of the efficacy of public health systems across Canada, published by the Canadian Journal of Public Health, found that some of the changes that he was referring to already made in Nova Scotia are having negative consequences on the functioning of the Chief Medical Officer of Health's office there. These are the same changes, as he pointed out, some of them are, that this government is making. So my question is, given the failure in Nova Scotia, what research was done in the decision-making process here to show that somehow this would be the right direction to take in our province?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Well, I can tell you that this reorganization, anything, you know, the fear-mongering that is being brought up by the member of the third party regarding if ever, you know, a pandemic or a crisis would come. First of all, there is the Emergency Measures Organization that takes care of that first and foremost. And, you know, we saw that with the ice storm situation earlier this year. That is not the Chief Medical Officer that would take care of such a crisis. So to insinuate something else is misleading. The other thing as well is that anything that has to do with any type of public health situation has to do with the communicable disease branch and control. And that is that branch that remains 100% integral. Nothing changes with that branch. And that is that branch that takes care of these situations, and that will absolutely remain. And the Chief Medical Officer will have more time and effort, more energy to concentrate on that branch.
Leader of the third party.
Well, Mr. Speaker, let's talk about the Chief Medical Officer of Health and not EMO, who I hope is not going to be responsible for dealing with a SARS-like epidemic if we ever should face such a thing again. Mr. Speaker, the government introduced a bill last week that it touted as promoting the independence of the Chief Medical Officer of Health. While this bill does allow the Chief Medical Officer to issue reports to the public, she still must inform the Minister 30 days before issuing those reports. And the bill fails to amend Section 59 of the Public Health Act, which gives the Minister of Health the authority to appoint the Chief Medical Officer of Health and presumably fire the Chief Medical Officer of Health. If the Minister can still appoint and fire that Chief Medical Officer of Health, Mr. Speaker, this creates no independence whatsoever. When the Minister receives his 30-day warning about a report he doesn't like or agree with or finds politically sensitive, what's to stop him from firing another medical officer of health in this province without clause, just as he did to the predecessor, Dr. Cleary?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Bon, écoutez, dans ce cas ici, nous tenons à ce que le médecin hygiéniste en chef demeure une fonction indépendante du gouvernement. Et ce que nous proposons dans ce projet de loi est simplement de légaliser ce qui était déjà la pratique. La pratique était essentiellement ce que nous proposons dans le projet de loi. Il n'y a pas tellement de choses de nouveau ici. Finalement, ça va permettre, le médecin hygiéniste en chef va soumettre le rapport. Elle ne va faire que nous informer de ce rapport jusqu'à 30 jours à l'avance, mais finalement, elle va soumettre le rapport, peu importe notre réaction ou non. Donc, ça maintient purement son indépendance et nous sommes là et nous nous engageons que son indépendance va demeurer. C'est le cas comme tous les officiers indépendants de notre gouvernement.